All right, welcome back to the Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur Shift the Culture podcast. Gail Hanna is here.
Yes, sir.
Jay Isaacs is here.
Hola.
Travis Miller
is
missing
not here
once again. We don't know where he is.
Zero.
Hopefully he's okay. As we said in the pre-show, Gail is hoping that they didn't throw him on the immigration bus by
My
mistake.
Lord.
But we ain't hear from Travis today. But hopefully he's okay. He's probably busy,
Yes.
as he usually is.
Yeah.
But we are here, Gail. Like I said, Gail and Jay is here, and we are about to discuss an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I think we should get a lot out of.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in the Bahamas, and a lot of people call this the land of crushing dreams, the land of hopelessness,
Wow.
the land of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to be discussing is the worst advice that you have ever received. Is it throughout your lifetime or just in your adult?
Throughout your
professional-
lifetime, we want to focus more on, let's say, business or professional advice.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have anything else you want to contribute, please feel free to do so.
Yes.
But if you got some really bad advice, like professionally, in your academics, or in business, please feel free to share.
Yes. And like I said, we should get plenty. I know Jay probably got about 5 he could list off right now.
Mm-hmm.
But 5? How much? What? That's a little bit.
Huh.
But and you know what's so funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, and I don't know if it's just me not hanging around a lot of people all the time, or maybe it's just me being so reserved and not telling people what I'm about to do or anything like that. But I don't have a lot.
Bad advice.
Like I'm not off the top, right to the front of my mind. Like nothing is coming like right away. The first thing I would probably say is I was advised, like right after I first started my business, a family member was like, maybe you should try to get a job just to have, so you have something little stable.
Why are you giving my bad advice?
Well, I sure you got more. I sure you got more than that one.
Yeah.
But that was that's the one that comes instantly to my mind.
Uh-huh.
It's like, family member telling me, well, listen, maybe you should, get a job. Just, why don't do it on the side? Have a job, but still do it on the side.
You mean when you were starting the cookie caterer?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so they're
right
telling you, ease into it or have a job and do this as
Right.
opposed to jumping straight into it.
Right. They was just, advising me to do it just, on the side. Have a job, but still do it on the side. So that's one that comes instantly to mind. Is there any that comes to mind for you instantly, Gail?
Get a degree.
Ooh, get a degree.
Yeah.
Just a degree and nothing specific.
It really didn't matter what it was in. And a lot of people are like that where you may even be passionate or you would want to do something, but you're being steered toward getting a degree, and not only a degree in something that you don't really want to do, like something you're not interested in or something that you don't see yourself in a career in, but for the sake of this piece of paper, get a degree. So degrees aren't for everybody. I'm not knocking anybody. I've gone through the process, you know what I mean? I'm not knocking anybody that has them, but they're not a necessity, and a lot of people give you bad advice to get a degree as opposed to, whatever qualifications you may need for your actual area of interest. So, yeah.
Interesting.
What you got, Jay?
Jay.
I agree with both. Y'all stealing everything.
Sorry.
I sure you got something.
I would say, going to the bank.
Oh,
Doing what? Yeah.
Expand on that.
Well, a lot of people feel that in order to start up any business, you need a buku amount of money, right?
Buku.
Yeah, and people advise people to go to the bank, even though not just here, but abroad as well. But I find a lot of people are going to the bank for frivolous things. Oh, you can't afford this, go to the bank.
Yeah.
You have a good hotel job or a good government job, they ain't gonna charge you that much, and you will not have to zero down and all that stuff. You put yourself in a hole for 10, 15 years for nothing.
That actually reminds me of a story when I was working in the bank at one point and wanted to see about getting a vehicle, because you can get a loan for a vehicle before you can get one for a business. And the manager told me, Well, essentially, they don't allow you to use the loan money under a certain, like, there's a minimum amount you have to borrow because of the year of the vehicle. So they don't sell. The bank won't lend you money for vehicles over, I believe, it's 10 years old. It might be less now.
It's 7 now, I think.
It's 7 now. See. At the time, it was 10 when I was there. And that amount of money, let's say it would have amounted to, let's say, I think the guy was trying to sell like a 99 Honda CRV for like $19,000 or something really crazy. And the manager was like, oh, you should talk to your parents and ask them to remortgage their home so that you would be able to get a loan for this car.
What? Wait a second. They wanted your parents to remortgage their home to get a loan for a car?
Yes. He did say that with a straight face.
Oh, my goodness.
Hold on. I have something similar to that.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I wanted to start my media company this was maybe 7 years ago. My grandfather had some property he didn't care about. He was willing to put up a collateral so I could get all the cameras and computers that I needed, right, to start a production company. Mind you, the lady told me I needed to seek someone that was willing to co-sign and put the collateral up, right? So I showed her the plan and everything. That's what she told me to do. I went and got my grandfather. I got him to agree. He knew what he was doing. He was saying whatever. He was into it. The woman... I went in there and she pretty much derailed the entire thing.
Wow.
So these people set you up and then pull you back down.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And all because I wanted to have a business as opposed to get something frivolous.
Well, that's a complaint that I hear a lot of times. People say, oh, they'll give you money for a car but wouldn't give you one for a business. And at the end of the day, I mean, I understand both sides of it.
Right.
I understand the frustration, but I also understand
the risk
business aspect when it comes to the bank, because we all know how risky business is.
Yeah.
Risky it is to get a business, and most businesses fail. And the bank sees it's almost like they're not going to get their money back. If your business fail, you waste the money. There's no way for them to get their money back.
Yeah.
But if you have a car, they could always, take it and sell it again or whatever, or a home. They
get it insured and then have someone steal it.
Right, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then look at the irony of that, because after our experience with the mortgage industry here, after I think 2008 in the financial crisis and moving forward, the banks have lots of assets on their hands right now that are not generating any income. Mortgages that are unpaid and in arrears and stuff like that. So,
but I mean, the
any man-made structure, physical or digital, is bound to fail because of manipulation and corruption.
But it's still assets. You know what I mean? Like it may be sitting at a home, maybe just sitting, but it's still an asset.
It still has to be maintained.
Which is true, but if you lose the money frivolously in your business, you spend money on things you didn't need, and there's nothing there.
My point with that, was that you given a mortgage for, like, let's say $200,000, and let's say the bank decides to do a $3,000 loan for you to start your business, which is a fraction of that. And then maybe the risk of them, or the chances of them believing in your success to the point where you would generate some funds back, you know what I mean? As opposed to a house that's just sitting there depreciating, or, well, I'm not sure if it's depreciating, but it does need maintenance. And houses fall apart very quickly when nobody's there. So, anyway.
Maybe we need to talk to somebody from the bank. I mean, we could do a show on that.
Yeah.
We could probably do a whole show on that. We get somebody, I guess, that works in the loan department, I guess, and they could speak more to that, as to why it's so difficult to get business loans. But bad advice.
Open a physical location.
That's what they want to.
What'd you say, Gail?
Open a physical location.
Why is that bad advice?
Because it was a one-size-fit-all remedy. And I think that certain businesses do require physical locations, or are better off with physical locations. But in terms of what I was doing, it wasn't a necessity. And I think that advice was given more out of a vanity thing, or wanting to be seen, as opposed to actually being practical for my business. So, yeah. A one-size-fit-all cookie cutter advice, that would definitely fall into the category, because you don't necessarily have to have a physical location to start a business.
Mine, let me pull another one. You're wasting your time, and it ain't realistic.
Wow.
I was just about to say that something.
Jay, come on.
This wasn't, and this isn't really. It isn't advice per se, but it kind of is like trying to.
No, it is advice. It's telling you not to do something that you're passionate about because they are afraid that you're gonna fail, and you're there. You know, they're not doing anything. So you know what? Be safe with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And but this was more so with my music career, because like
The same thing you told me, Greg.
Pardon?
The same thing you tell me.
Well, listen, I told everybody. I've said it on the show before. It was my mom. You know what I mean? It was my mother who said it, and it was like I said, as it pertains to my music career. Because to be honest, when it comes to what I'm doing now, I didn't speak to anyone. Maybe Keith was the only person that knew what I was going to do. I didn't speak to anyone. I just did it.
Yeah.
And I still really don't speak to people about it that much. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying, like, it's kind of difficult to come up with a lot of bad advice because I never really sought it out. Like, I never really had conversations with people about my plans or intentions when it comes to this particular business. But that's one from, like I said, my career before I started this business was, just, it's not realistic. You're wasting your time doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any more that we ain't Teeth, Jay?
Says
Encouraging people to quit.
Okay.
I think that's one of the worst advice, especially when you have no proper perspective on what's going on. I think a lot of people quit because of social pressures, especially when their businesses get hard.
Yeah.
When they instantly regret it when someone else picks up that mantle and causes it to flourish.
Let me think one. Some customers, and I wouldn't say it's bad advice, but it's more, like Gail said just now, like it was more of a timing thing. Like at the time, it's not, you don't see it as something that you should be doing at the time. And a lot of people like encouraging me to get into different like areas like cupcakes or like different pastries. Like people try to encourage me to do those things.
Yeah.
But I recognize what it is I'm good at, and I have a system that works perfectly for me right now, and to incorporate something else at this time or at the time they recommended it would not have been the right decision in my eyes. So the time was off. So it's not really bad advice, but it's just not the right timing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's still bad advice.
Say again? That's bad advice?
It's still bad advice.
If the time is wrong, it's bad advice.
I don't think it's bad advice, because
it's not good.
I mean, but when you look at it like this, they don't know the ins and outs of your operation.
Right.
They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's best for you. And they have an idea that they feel may work for you. So it's just a suggestion, based on the idea that they have. And you have to make the determination whether it works for you or not.
Yeah.
So that's why I wouldn't really call that bad advice. But I'm just saying, like, timing-wise, it's not something that I would have been a good decision for the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So let's define a bad advice.
Okay.
If it's not in the best interest of you or your business at that particular time, if it's a horrible idea, it's bad advice.
But it's not a bad idea. That's the thing. Like, it's not a horrible idea, but like I said,
Are you a baker? Right.
Yeah.
You consider yourself a baker now?
Well, not really.
He's bake cookies.
Exactly, I bake cookies. So technically, I'm kind of a baker because I bake cookies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you the cookie man?
I'm not a. I tell people all the time, I never been to school for it. I never take no course for it. Nothing. I went to Google University, concocted some recipes together, and they turned out pretty good according to the people that eat them. That's it. I'm no professional.
Shameless plug.
So it's yes and no. Is the answer.
Why you say that, Jay?
No, why I say that is because if someone is causing, you have a niche market, right? You have a niche product. You could develop it a little bit more. You could package it a little bit better. You could go luxury if you wanted to experiment with more flavors, expand that way, right? But if someone is advising you to expand beyond your niche market, to take a risk on something that you aren't comfortable with, and you will have to take your time to learn, develop, perfect that process, that's bad advice.
Okay.
I guess we'll agree to disagree on that one. Because I still don't think it's bad advice, but I get where you're coming from. I just don't completely agree with it. I don't think it's bad advice. Because if you may do it, sometimes you do things that you feel may not be in the best interest, and they work out even better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes that actually happens if you actually try it.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't really say if it's bad advice. It's just that, like I said at the time, I didn't see it as something that I was into doing at the time. And so it's not really bad advice. It's just, it's a suggestion that I just didn't take them up on. You know what I mean?
Can you
I got one here.
Can you think of any other bad advice you've gotten, Jay?
Just do it. It's a slogan by Nike.
Hold on, that's bad advice?
It's bad advice.
Go
Why
ahead.
should
Yeah,
you
let's
just do something once you have a plan? You got a plan. If you don't have a plan, you will fail.
Okay, makes sense.
But just do
You
it.
have a point.
You know what? You plan. You thought about it. You put some thought into it. It's time to execute. Now you need to get up about it and do it. But a lot of people tell people, "Oh, you can do this." Child, you can do anything. Just do it.
Okay, not even no forethought, no nothing.
No.
Just dive in.
Just goes in, absent-minded, lose their house, lose their home, lose their mind.
Yeah.
Lose their man?
I agree that some preparation should be made prior to just doing it. So I understand what you're saying, Jay. Like, before you quit your job to go into this thing, maybe you should have some savings in place or a general
and some
plan.
people can't fly from the seat of their pants.
Even a website.
You say some people can't fly from the seat of their pants?
Yeah, some people can succeed in that type of chaotic environment, but some people just ain't caught up for that type of pressure.
I think that's
True.
me. That's why I don't completely agree with that one either. To just do it. I'm a just do it type of person too. You know what I mean? Because I didn't really have a plan. I'll be honest with you. I had no plan. I just figured it out on the way as I went. You know what I mean? It was a learning process throughout. I was okay, let me sit down and put this plan together. Now, there was some thought into it. I'm not saying that there was no thought.
Right.
There was some thought. You had to come
Used
up with pricing.
used to bake before you quit, right? I mean, before
Yeah.
that situation ended, right?
Right. Purely for no, they fired me. They rolled me out.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to say that, but go on.
Why not?
No, it's
That's
alright.
what happened.
Okay, then, cool.
Very, very proud of this story.
They do me a favor. Shoot, I'm glad they fired me because I might not have quit. You know what I mean? But there was some plan, planning going. And what was the question?
With the
again?
cookies, you had baked them beforehand. You
yes,
would develop
yes.
a recipe
That
and
was
stuff like that.
And that was just strictly for pleasure, leisure, just watching football or just around the house on Sundays or whenever you feel like eating cookies. That's all it was for. But then I had to actually monetize it when I got fired. So it was some, thought that went into it because, like I said, you had to come up with pricing. You had to come up with a way to consistently, get business or whatever. So there was some thought, but there was no written out plan, no business plan. I had none of those things.
We have a comment from Amp. He says another notch of bad advice is people telling you not to go into business with friends. I understand the sense behind it, but business relationships shouldn't have strict applications. They need trust, reliability, and discipline.
You agree with that, Jay?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you as an adult should know the strengths of your friends, and you know what a bad friend. So you don't go in business with a crackhead.
Well, that depends on what the business is.
Oh,
so yeah, I get you.
You still don't go if it's a legal business. You still don't go into business with a crackhead because he can eat or smoke all he product.
Wow.
Well, if you don't go in the crack selling business with a crackhead.
Get high off your own supply.
But I agree with on that one.
Yeah.
Because you can get into bad business relationship with friends, and you can get into good relationship with friends. So it shouldn't just be a blanket. Don't go into business with friends.
Right, and that's usually what people advise you against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody that gives you absolutes, you should be cautious of that kind of advice. Because it's almost never absolute.
Every situation is different.
You have nuances, you know what I mean? So always be cautious of advice where people give you those absolutes, you know what I mean? Don't ever go into business with family or friends or, because you may have a family member that's the perfect partner for you. But if you go by this rule, you may miss out on an opportunity just because of that advice.
Another one for me was to put an ad on the radio.
Talk about it, Gail.
Well, Again, it was a matter of bit. Well, the reason why I said it again is because it wasn't applicable to me. Like, in terms of a target market, and where you decide you want to be, the radio wasn't really appropriate for what it was that I was trying to do. So again, it was like advice that isn't applicable to what it is that you're doing, but people feel as though it's like across the board good, so it should be applicable to everybody that's being trying to do this thing. So yeah,
that's true.
I agree.
Radio I learn for every business. So yeah, it is depends on your target market and what your overall goal is.
Right, exactly. And I'm trying to think.
I had one before Gail opened them out, man.
Sorry.
I try to think, and maybe
sorry.
And I
got it.
I do a suck job at multitasking, and because I say it all the time, and I'm terrible at this. I have to do better, right? But like literally, as I'm introduced to people, and they say, "Hey, my name is,"
you forget that name.
Is over, you get the name. It's terrible.
I think we all do that.
It's terrible because I think I'm so focused on certain, like when I focus on something, I'm focused on that, and maybe that's why I suck at multitasking, because when I focus on something, I'm really focused on it. And
they offer a trick to say the person's name right after they say it, and say it again within the next 30 seconds to try to recall something.
I could try that.
And associate it with something else.
Right, I could try that.
Yeah.
But I think, because I know I've received advice, but maybe where I was so uninterested in it, it just went in one ear and out the next, which is why it's so hard to recant it, because I know I've gotten advice. I really having a hard time thinking of them.
What you was going to say, Jay?
I was going to say, you need the best equipment to do this particular type of job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need top-notch equipment. And it all depends on the type of service that you're doing. If you're doing something technical and you're making an installation, obviously you would want the best product to carry the service. But if you're a graphic designer or a photographer or whatever, it's more about your skill and how you deliver your product.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? You don't definitely need the best camera or the best glass or the best computer. You just need something reliable and dependable to get you to your end product.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that, because a lot of people put too much stock in equipment. You know, they feel as though the equipment makes the person, but it's actually the person that makes the equipment.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
And especially in music and stuff like that, people feel as though because they have this fancy mic, this fancy board, this high-tech computer, they think their music is going to be amazing, but it's not the equipment. It's the person behind the equipment. So I agree with that completely.
So many different departments, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And, well, Gail already said it, but I think some people advise me, to open a store, you know what I mean? But again, that's a timing issue. It's a thing of timing. You don't want to just rush into something like that. You want to make sure you're prepared for it. And that's what I'm actually in the process of doing right now, is preparing myself for that.
How long have you been running your business from home?
5.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 5.5 years.
Solid.
I died. I died.
Makes sense.
So I actually prepared. So this is why, and that's why it's so tough when it comes to bad advice. Because if someone made a suggestion, like I said, the advice itself wasn't bad, but the timing just wasn't right. You know what I mean? It just wasn't the right time for it. And so that's why I'm having a hard time calling something like that bad advice. Like we should have some bad advice, man, Gail. I don't get, your parents ain't give no bad advice.
They can be plenty bad advice.
What is it taking about
Get a good government job.
Advice too, yeah, get a good job.
That's a
government job.
It is a bad advice to give somebody who does not get advice to.
Ask your politician.
Oh, jeez.
Ask your MP. Yeah, align yourself with your MP.
I never got that one.
No?
You got that one?
Yeah. These Bahamian tanks.
No, I never got that. So see, that's why, because I said I don't talk to people about whatever it is I'm going to do. I learned my lesson a long time ago to keep quiet.
Oh, do this and you'll get exposure.
Oh, let's get on that one.
That was great advice,
all
right?
Get specific with it. Tell us specifically.
Everybody doesn't have a budget, but they always, you're supposed to be, because you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself, or whatever the case would be. Yeah, you're supposed to be excited about exposure and people knowing your name after you give them this product or service for free. I sure Jay has no experience with that.
Now, here's the thing about the exposure job. It all depends on the situation.
Right.
So, for me, if I've never been exposed to, say, like a key market, right? And there are going to be X, Y, Z possible clients there. I want to be able to go in there and network,
Right.
and make certain connections, and then say, okay, chalk it up, and then have my name go around, and they pass my pictures around, whatever. I did a few exposure gigs, but it comes with growth and evaluating the situation. So doing a job for exposure isn't a bad idea. It's just how much you do and how you
do it for
the ROI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
makes
know what?
sense.
That made me think of one.
Okay.
How did I not think of this sooner? I get bad advice all the time and I wouldn't even call them customers.
Yeah.
From people. Well, let me give you the bad advice.
Okay.
Man, you should ride around with free samples.
What? Just
I
randomly.
get this all the time from people. And that's why I
Wow.
say they ain't customers, because they don't buy.
Of course not.
But clearly we know what the deal is. You're looking for free things, right?
Yeah.
And they just try it, right? And I done prepared for them. They just try it, right? They just come, but, well, how I supposed to know if I can like it? I may want to buy. How I supposed to know if it tastes good?
Right.
I say, well, it's two things. I say, well, I've been doing this for years. I have reviews, not only on the website, but on the Facebook page. You can check the reviews. And also, do you go to Bamboo Shack and say, hey, excuse me,
Let me
I
taste
need to
it.
taste that chicken, please, because I don't know
Yes.
if I can like it before I buy that. So let me buy a
Woo.
piece of that chicken, please.
Go ahead.
You all ain't got no samples of them fries, eh? I need to sample that conch before I purchase that, ma'am. So if you don't go to these other places and request free samples, please,
My lord.
Please have the
stop
decency.
asking for free cookie.
please have the decency to not ask me for free samples.
Wow.
Because light ain't free, school fee ain't free, all these other things that we need ain't free. So all these things come with a cost. It's just like you do with other businesses. If you go there, you go to some place, you buy the food. If you don't like it, you don't buy it no more.
Right.
Simple.
Yep.
So yeah, that's some bad advice that I receive all the time. You need to ride around with free samples.
Jay, any more from you?
I don't think so. I think I covered it all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
I
Jay
think
would have had
we-
plenty.
This.
I mean, I've gotten it, but I thought I toned out bad advice now. And
I think that's what happened to me too. You know, like I just tune, like you're so used to tuning it out that you don't even waste space in your memory banks
Yeah.
for things that you consider to be bad advice. So it's not there.
Oh,
Just smile and wave.
Yes. You remember
investment is
something?
bad.
Say
Like
it.
people, I don't know what it is about Bahamians or the majority of Bahamians, but they're afraid to invest, like stocks and bonds and stuff like that. So they look at that as if they ain't getting their money right then and there. So that's why they love ASO and stuff like that.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what's the,
They'll
what's
never
the
get
bad
stuck
advice?
in them loom.
Don't invest.
Go in this ASO or go in this loom.
Okay, ASU and Loom.
Lumen. Vigilante
Lumen.
H Matrix says ultimate bad advice: go work for government.
Yeah. Well, again, and it depends on the situation, but you know,
Yeah.
for us, clearly that's terrible advice.
If you're an entrepreneur, that's horrible advice.
Yeah, horrible advice for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because I ain't doing it. I ain't waiting for nobody.
Or you need that good government contract to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never want to be dependent on any one client or entity.
Truth.
And you know, and to tag on to that, right, Jay? A lot of people suggest or give advice that I should go after like more corporate, big corporate clients. And not bad advice. Again, it's not bad advice, but it may be a good time now because I already have a base to where I could always make money. And I won't be totally reliant on those corporate companies because once they pull the plug, if that's a major percentage of your business,
That's it.
it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
And I mean, for someone like yourself, I think you're organically going to attract those type of people because when people say, okay, I need X amount of cookies or whatever, and I don't want Subway or Bahama Sub or whatever, right? Your name is going to come up in that conversation.
Right. And it has happened because I have done like corporate, a lot of corporate events and large amounts for businesses and stuff. So that it has happened that way. And that's the way I prefer for it to happen. You know what I mean? I like the hustle and the grind of I like to compared to like back in the day when the rappers were selling their CDs out the trunks and doing
Yeah.
regionally that hustle, and then they got the big deals because they blew up, because of that hustle.
Right.
I love that approach. I always love that approach instead of going for the big corporate stuff first. So
Yeah.
so if y'all don't have no more, we could probably wrap up. Ain't none of the viewers have no bad advice, man. Jeez, I thought some of these viewers would have had some bad advice too. I don't know if I see in all the comments, Gail.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
that's it.
Yeah.
I know you all get some bad advice.
I
in
would
your
say
life.
some good advice that Greg sees as bad advice. Stand by cookies.
Here's some bad advice. Any business that's creative isn't a real job. That's a lie. When I first picked up my camera, it wasn't considered a real job. I worked for three of the media companies here.
Mhm.
I have a very successful photography brand, and I branched off into filmmaking.
Mm.
Like stop putting down creatives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
It's
a
an
big one.
industry. You just have to know how to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how we missed this one?
What's that?
Have something to fall back on.
That's not bad advice.
Have something to fall back on.
That's
Jay,
not
you
bad
look in the
advice.
field.
Jay, Gail said that's not bad advice. What's your take?
It is
on
bad advice because if you
Oh,
quote unquote have something to fall back on, you're not putting your energy into what's in front of you, and you're setting yourself up for failure.
I agree with Jay. I think you already. A plan B is a plan to fail.
Exactly.
That's my approach to it.
Okay.
What's
How
your
you deal
approach,
with
Gail?
plan
Clearly
B
you disagree.
when that's
I bite up my tongue. I bite up my tongue
Gail
right
about to be
now.
bloody eventually. Yeah.
No, man, I think that you should have. I think you should have something in place, something somewhere, just something to fall back.
But you know what happens, right?
You know what your something to fall back on is?
What?
The experience that you gain while you pursuing your passion.
Yeah, but experience don't pay the bills.
Experience does, because here's the thing, right? I accidentally got into radio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they was to quote unquote fire me one day, I could go work at any radio station right now, and I don't have a degree for it.
Let me paint this. Let me use this analogy for Jay. All right,
Mhm.
you watch all three of the Dark Knight movies. You remember the third one
Which one was the third one? Who and I?
with Bane?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you watched that, Jay?
Yeah, I did.
All right. You remember when Batman was down in the cave or whatever with his back broken and he was trying to get back up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make this impossible jump to get out of the little hole and dungeon they was in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time Batman had a plan B and he put that rope around his waist,
Mm-hmm.
he failed. You know why? Because in his head, the risk is eliminated. You know what I mean? He has something to save him if he doesn't make the jump. So he isn't putting that effort. It's not like, nigga, you need to make this or you dead.
Exactly.
And the only time he made the jump was when he took the rope from around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
Free
Made the
climb.
jump afterwards, because you know what that is? Nigga, either you make this jump or you're dead. And what happens is that plan B is you putting that rope around your waist. And or if you on the the little trampoline, what is it, a trapeze artist, what they call them, where they swing. If you have that net down there, you don't have as much incentive to make sure your timing is right, so you grab that person's hand, because you notice the safety net is there. And so to me, a plan B is that safety net. It gives you that level of comfort that causes you not to put your everything, because if it doesn't work, you have a soft landing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
Understood.
And I know Gail
We'll
still
agree.
disagree.
We'll agree to disagree.
You'll have a plan B, C, D, and
We'll
E.
agree to disagree.
So like Gail
As
got a,
somebody who had a plan A with no plan B, I would recommend that you have a plan B if you can.
sound like Gail got a plan alphabet.
So yeah.
But Aaron Green says you don't have to tell him or her that. Disclosure in relationships.
You don't have to tell. Oh, disclosing things in relationships. You don't have to tell him or her that. Yeah.
Business relationships.
Yeah, or personal.
That is bad.
Yeah.
In any relationship.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
business or personal, that is bad. You should always be open, honest, and communicate. Communication is key to any relationship. Where things go awry is when the communication is, either not there or it's not clear.
Expectations not being expressed
Yes.
and miscommunications occur.
Yes, all the time. So yeah, guys, I think we could wrap this one up.
Sounds good.
If we don't have any more, I don't see any more in the comments. So, want to thank you, Jay. Thank you for calling in, buddy.
Yeah, baby,
No problem,
thanks,
buddy.
Always appreciate it. Thank you, Gail.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Gail,
you
you
see?
make it in person this week.
Yes.
We've been tugging it out over the phone, but you made it here in person. I appreciate that greatly. Every week that you are here is a blessing.
Yes, and to my brethren, Travis Whole Firm.
Yeah, you see, I mean, we can see if we could get you out of the detention center.
Yes.
We can send somebody down there to try to get you out.
Behind
we there for
these
you.
prison walls.
We there for you, my brother.
We here for you, Travis.
And
we
people,
will find you.
Yes. Well, Gail can find you. I can do something
If
else.
RBDF don't find you first, we got you, babe. We got you.
No, I'm in this call. I'm not going to be an accomplice to obstruction of justice.
All right, Jay. And all right, people, thank you for tuning in. All you people on Facebook. We need you guys to like the page, share the video. Follow us on SoundCloud. Just look for the W2E STC podcast on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
We're on YouTube, so you can search every episode on YouTube. Well,
Nice.
most of the episodes, not all. Most of them are up there, especially the recent ones.
Okay.
But search them on YouTube. W2E STC podcast. Search it on YouTube. And again, like the Facebook page, share the Facebook page. And we're going to end it as we always end the show with losers make excuses and winners make adjustments. Until next time, people. Peace.
It's the after show.
It's the after show.
It's the after show. Babe, Travis, where you is, babe? Babe, where you is?